Hey YouTube, it's Nebros. We're back with another Shoe0nHead reaction. I was waiting for this one. We all know what it's going to be about, but she had a hell of a hard time with this particular incident. Um, and given the nature of the video, I'm not going to do the usual like, comment, subscribe. You guys know by now. So we're going to be reacting to this live. This is the first time I'm seeing it, so let's go.
On September 10th, Charlie Kirk was giving a talk at
I got lunch, chicken mayo sandwiches, was burning the shit out of my mouth.
Utah Valley University, and out of nowhere, he was dead, live, in front of a bunch of college kids, in front of his wife and his two children. And I don't think the country is ever going to be the same. Not only because of this horrific tragedy, but because of everything that followed. The dark, disturbing realization that we may not be on the same page as our coworkers, classmates, friends, neighbors, doctors, when it comes to the issue of murder. I was crashing out on Twitter
Yeah, I mean, you never really know people, do you?
a few days ago, just stream of consciousness posting about it with run on sentences and everything. 4 days later, I have a clearer head, but I still feel the exact same way. So, we are going to talk about what happened, we're going to talk about the aftermath, and then we're going to get a little personal, because frankly, I don't see the country the same anymore, and I know a lot of you feel the exact same way. So, we're going to talk about it after we talk about everything else. Charlie Kirk was not a healthcare CEO. He was not a powerful politician. And let me be 100% clear, I'm not saying this to say that it's okay when those people are murdered. My
No, of
point
course
is
not.
that those are positions of power that most people cannot relate to. Like, the
Hmm.
average person is just so far removed from that world. But I think what happened to Charlie.
Yeah, like, could we relate to him very well when, like, Donald Trump got shot at? No, because, like, your average guy is not Donald Trump, right? We don't have that level of power, that level of influence, or that money. Hell, most of us these days can barely make rent.
Is hitting
I personally have no income, so not no disposable income, just no income at all.
differently because, like I said on Twitter, he was just a fucking guy.
Yeah,
He was a fucking podcaster. He was a guy who talked
he could have been me.
about politics.
Well, that's apples and oranges. He was a great deal more successful and influential than I am.
He was a guy who had conservative beliefs. Not everyone knows a billionaire CEO or a powerful politician, but they
Mm-hmm.
do know somebody with conservative beliefs. They know
Yeah.
somebody who holds some or many of Charlie Kirk's opinions. Because despite what people in their little bubble believe, his core ideology and what he believed is the same shit like your conservative boomer uncle on Facebook posts. You can only disagree with this if you are unfamiliar with Charlie Kirk or you are unfamiliar with the many different branches and different ideologies of the right wing. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Charlie Kirk had many bad takes over the years. Like, for example, the two most popular quotes I see people posting.
Before she gets into those, I have never heard a Charlie Kirk take I disagreed with. Um, sorry, Shu, that's a terrible pause. um, no, I've never heard a Charlie Kirk take I disagree with, and even if I did, he frames it in a way that makes him seem more personable. For instance, he was talking about South Africa to this one kid, and throughout it, he was like, I may not know what I'm talking about. I don't know South African law, da 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 da. And yet, according to my reckoning, based on my experience, he absolutely nailed the problem. So, um, yeah, hopefully she'll show me something I maybe disagree with.
Are the one where he advocated for stoning gays and black women are too stupid to be pilots. But
Okay,
guess
I
what?
disagree with
Those
those.
things, the two most popular quotes people are posting to justify this guy being murdered, are out of context. But
Of course
idiots
they
like
are.
Stephen King ran with it, then later had to apologize for spreading misinformation about it.
And then I saw a critical drinker called Stephen out saying, "You're just mad because you're just apologizing because you got called out and whatnot." And that may be true. Maybe he doesn't actually mean any of the words that he was saying here. But I think it's worth acknowledging that something like this is a hell of a lot more than most people would do these days. Think about your games. the games these days, literal, actual trash like Dragon Age the Veilguard, instead of turning around and saying, okay, I'm sorry, we made a bit of a shit game and we promoted it incorrectly and we really didn't just do the justice to. No, they doubled down and said people hated it because they're racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever. So, you know what? Props to Stephen King for actually making the effort to say that he apologizes and everything. Whether it's genuine or not, I don't know. I can't say. It's hard to tell via text. I can't see body language, tone of voice, you know. I cannot read beyond the text. So I will take the text. I will choose, and this is what people need to remember as well. It's a choice. You can choose to take the text at face value and say, okay, he's apologized. And in any case, it's a hell of a lot more than most people would do, so I think it's worthy of respect.
A dead man. These people will build a straw man of you in their minds. They get so fucking mad about it that they celebrate the real you dying.
Yep.
Horrifying. But more importantly, even if
It's like that evergreen tweet that Rev shows. People will get mad at you for people who can't tell the difference between real world and fiction, and then they'll get mad at you for knowing the difference or something like that.
everything was in context, who cares? Oh, he said this,
Yeah.
oh, he said this. I don't care. There are many things he said that I disagree with. There are many
Mhm.
things he said that I think are bad. Who cares? It is just a fact that nothing he said warranted his life being taken away. This is America. We have freedom of speech here. Unless you criticize a certain country, but for the most part, we have freedom of speech here. So
I wonder which country
between
she's alluding
not
to.
just one wrong guy, but two wrong guys, the FBI finally got the shooter. Only because his own father turned him in. I guess they
Yeah.
were just too fucking busy not.
Okay. Well, if I found out my son if I found out my son had murdered somebody, I wouldn't even broach it with my son. I would call the cops and disown him. Honestly, I don't have kids, but that's what I would do. And I've told my parents, if you ever find me guilty, if you ever find out I'm guilty of any sort of crime like that, I expect you to disown me. That's what I'd do.
Not releasing the Epstein
So, W Dad.
files to catch a political assassin. It was this ass demon, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, another irony poisoned Reddit shooter who wrote a bunch of memes on the bullets, including "Hey fascist catch" and
Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?
Oh dear God.
a lot of people
Yeah,
are saying that the
me
shooter
too.
was a Groiper, which is a far-right fan of the streamer Nick Fuentes, and I have no fucking idea where that came from. I'm gonna be
I
so
don't
honest.
even know what
I
a
have seen
groiper
no
is.
actual proof of this. And it doesn't make sense because someone further right than Charlie Kirk wouldn't call Charlie Kirk a
Charlie Kirk was a moderate.
fascist, and they wouldn't say he was hateful. Their proof is that the shooter once dressed up like the Slav squat meme from 2012, and they also found a separate meme of Pepe the Frog dressed like the Slav squat meme.
What the hell
Therefore,
am
the
I
shooter
looking
is
at?
a groiper. That is like seeing a photo of the shooter dressed like a clown, and then seeing this image of Pepe the Frog dressed like a clown, and then being like groiper confirmed. What is the connection? The shooter didn't even post the Pepe image. Like, where did the Pepe even come from? Just a bunch of liberal boomers not understanding memes. The other thing I saw was
I don't
the shooter
understand
had
the meme.
Republican parents, and therefore the shooter must be Republican, which is just funny because we all see what these people say about their Republican parents every Thanksgiving. But I guess
Yep.
we'll see. It's September 14th when I am recording this, so maybe more things will come out. Editor Shoe here, more things came out. Definitely not a groiper.
Utah governor says the motive in Kirk shooting is not yet certain, but the suspect was on the left.
At the
Okay.
end of the day, he could have every single one of my or your opinions. It ultimately
He
doesn't
almost
matter.
certainly doesn't.
One person may have pulled the trigger, but then we saw the reaction of many.
We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. nothing to do with.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Rest in peace, bozo!
This is painful to watch.
Got put down like a fucking dog in Utah.
I do not, and I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they.
You're celebrating the death of a man and you're saying he's a bad person. You're casting judgment on other people as being bad and you're celebrating a man's death. You are the bad person.
Deserve. I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers.
Oh no, someone shot Charlie Kirk. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but that's how you pick up a woman.
Not a woman worth picking up. So, what do you think they would have done if they were back when was... I'm just going to open up another browser quickly. So, what do you think they'd have done in the 60s if people on the political right, I would assume, did this sort of thing for Martin Luther King? Huh? How do you think they would react? Trans community seeing the news today. Yeah, you're not doing your side any favors, pal.
Heard someone got shot today.
The director said, eat a burger, it'll make you look more like an asshole.
I had a tummy ache this morning.
No one cares.
Stay alive out there.
The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is...
Oy.
You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless.
Yeah, it's all very fun saying, oh, I'm confused how you thought the revolution was going to be bloodless until it's the blood of the people on your side being spilled.
Saying we need to bring back political assassinations, I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public.
Yeah, your side's learning that pretty in a big way, yeah?
I didn't like what he said, and I didn't like his opinions, and I don't really give a shit that he's dead.
Okay, like, that's fine. You don't have to. Just don't make fun of the fact that he died, don't mock him, and don't celebrate it.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing. It will activate no one. It will impact few.
These are the people from whom we are supposed to be taking our moral guidance. Yeah? You know what? I'll keep my own fucking counsel in terms of morality.
It's just great.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone.
Yes, because it could happen to you too.
I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Again, you're the bad people bad things probably should happen to. I would never go out and say that they should. So just maybe.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Oh my god. I want to skip.
I saw the video before they even
I want to skip ahead.
There was no chance that he made it through that.
No, I saw the video too, and I agree with that. There's no chance Charlie Kirk made it. Like, what I saw, I had a hard time believing he'd have survived long enough to get to the hospital.
This wasn't the one we were hoping for, but a welcome surprise nonetheless.
I'm
surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like, don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. His wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids.
His wife deserves to go. Are you insane? What the hell does she have to do with anything?
Go too because they're carrying on that mentality.
And his kids too.
Get rid of the whole family. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him?
There were thousands.
God, that was painful to watch. And like I said, these are the people we gotta get our moral cues from. It's insane.
of videos like that. Some of these people posting with their full names and faces, with
Yeah.
hundreds and thousands of likes, thousands of tweets celebrating it, with 500,000 likes, and it's
Look, I said in a recent video, you don't have to have liked Charlie Kirk. You don't have to have agreed with him. In fact, I think he would have preferred if you disagreed with him, because then it would give something, it creates room for a conversation, which is what he was all about in the first place. You don't have to mourn the fact that he's dead. You don't even have to care. Just don't fucking celebrate it. Do not mock the fact he died. Don't celebrate it. And certainly if you're gonna do that, rather just keep it to yourself and don't accuse other people of being bad people.
important to remember that all of those likes are a real person. Millions of people
Yeah.
in this country apparently believe the acceptable response to speech they don't like is murder. This wasn't just a bunch of fringe blue hair SJWs or whatever.
Mm-mm.
They were teachers, professors, doctors,
Yep.
HR workers, healthcare workers, nurses, pediatricians, people who work with kids, people's classmates, roommates. They are teachers showing our children the gory, horrifying video of Charlie's murder
Yep.
on repeat.
I heard about that.
The hippy-dippy "in this house we believe" shitlib mask was ripped off, and underneath was nothing but psychopathic bloodlust. I have seen people on the right celebrate the death of people they disagree with. I've seen it. I remember Heather Heyer in 2017. But I also
Don't know who
the
that
whole
is.
internet, left and right, coming together to disavow and mock the few dozen people from Stormfront who were celebrating her death. This is different.
Got no
It's
idea what
never
that's
been
about.
like this before. It's never been this much. It's never been this brazen. Normal people have to log into like an alternate Twitter account where they can post their more unorthodox opinions. And these people are out here, full face, full name, like hell yeah, murder. What? These
Because up to this point, there's been no consequence. They feel that they can do such things with absolute impunity because, well, to them, Charlie Kirk was a fascist and a Nazi. So, to the idea being a fascist Nazi was killed, and who's going to complain about that, right? That's why it is so irresponsible to be referring to your political opponents and people with whom you disagree in that way.
smug, unearned confidence these people have to be openly sociopathic with their full name and face
Mhm.
because they live under the pathetic delusion of being on the right side of history needs to end. They
Yep.
will blame you for your death because words are violence. Words are violence, so them killing you is just self-defense.
I've fielded this argument before. Words have power. Words only have as much power as you allow them to have. So why on earth it is that these people decide to give words the power to affect them so much is beyond me. I mean, you might say that's ironic given my reaction to the video celebrating his death, but it's not so much the words as the attitude. And that they believe, like she said, that they believe they're on the right side of history, that they believe what happened was justified, and that they believe they are morally superior because of it. It's their beliefs that trouble me, not their words so much. Like, somebody asked me, how would you feel if I called you, I don't know, pick something, just anything. And I said to the person, why would I care? I don't know you. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. You can call me what you like.
That's why they're using Kyle Rittenhouse as some kind of gotcha. Oh, if you don't condone political violence, why do you support Kyle Rittenhouse?
Because Kyle Rittenhouse killed the dude in self-defense. That's what the court ruling was. That's what anybody watching the videos and who saw the evidence would come to that's the conclusion they would come to.
They fundamentally don't see the difference between killing someone over speech and killing someone over self-defense because these are the same things to them. Also, I'm going to be the one to point it out because of course I am. I saw nobody else do it. Why are most of them women? Most of the people celebrating are women. Like, it's a good, like, 80-20 ratio all over the internet. What is going on, ladies? Basically, the whole country is shook because last year they realized how many people would celebrate the murder of a president, and this year they realized how many people would celebrate the murder of them. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
this is all the inevitable conclusion of the punch a Nazi thing from like 2017.
Again, punch a Nazi. Who's gonna complain? You're punching a Nazi.
Do you guys remember that? We always knew it was a slippery slope. That's why we were against it.
Reminder, this man thinks it's fine to punch anyone he considers a Nazi. Please tell me again how that's not a slippery slope.
And they
Yep.
always say this dumb shit like, if you don't want to be called a Nazi, stop being a Nazi.
You can be called a Nazi for literally anything. I was called racist because I prefer vanilla over chocolate. This specifically to white chocolate versus milk or dark chocolate. Yeah, I was literally called a racist because I prefer white chocolate over vanilla, over any sort of brown chocolate. So that means you can literally be called a Nazi for any reason.
Even a congressman from my state, New York, was like, oh, if you want to stop being called a fascist, you should stop being a fascist.
It's not complicated. Yeah, your average person doesn't have the capability of being a fascist.
Yeah, that's great. Except you've called everyone and their mother a fascist and a Nazi for the
Yep.
past, like, 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And I see a lot of progressives in my audience like, Shoe, you're not like Charlie Kirk. You're not a fascist. Here are all the things I have been called Nazi, fascist, reactionary for over the last few years. Would you like to see? I have
Sure.
been making this list since 2023. Let's go. Let's just read this together real quick.
And she's been around for much longer than that, so you know that's a long-ass list.
Mocking/criticizing pop feminism. Believing adults can do whatever they want. Being pro-free speech. Being liberal. Talking to people I disagree with. Being friends with people I disagree with. Following people on Twitter I disagree with. Supporting Bernie Sanders. That one came from the right. Being registered independent. Criticizing Joe Biden, criticizing the Democratic Party, not being attracted to feminine men, not hating men in general, criticizing Canada's MAID program, not taking the COVID vaccine, criticizing the FBI, criticizing the CIA, believing the CIA killed JFK,
Yeah, I believe that one too.
flag backdrop for my videos, saying elites, saying working class, saying based, making a joke about Joe Biden eating ice cream, making a joke about Pete Buttigieg being born in a test tube, making jokes in general, being cis, being white, being a woman, being a cis white woman, telling someone to take a shower, not being anti-gun, not being fat, being monogamous, liking Huey Long, celebrating the 4th of July, supporting Assange, criticizing the movie Cuties, praising the movie Sound of Freedom, being against pedophilia, being against the destigmatization of pedophilia, being against children watching porn, being critical of kink at Pride, being against children performing at drag shows, not
Jeez,
being
like,
racist,
not.
swear to God, being a class reductionist, saying biological sex, mocking people for debating the ethics of necrophilia,
Oh my
using-
God.
owning a pet rabbit, questioning the Bush administration's involvement in 9/11, growing up in a Catholic family, eating meat, wanting to get married, wanting to have children, being married, having children, being at January 6th to interview people, saying it's okay if someone doesn't want to date a porn star, not wanting to do OnlyFans, criticizing Kanye West, criticizing
Wow.
capitalism, criticizing the billionaire class, criticizing Israel, criticizing eating the bugs, criticizing a fashion company for being creepy, you'll remember that one, supporting
Balenciaga.
parentheses, it's toxic masculinity, supporting TikTok trad wives, supporting one-income households, supporting UBI, supporting farmers,
I'm with, well, she's not a Nazi or a fascist or anything like that because because she supports UBI. UBI is a different kettle of fish, and maybe I'll go into that in another video, but I believe in certain countries it wouldn't work.
supporting truckers, not celebrating October 7th, supporting Palestine, not liking brutalism, saying colorblind anti-racism was good, wanting to date someone who has a good relationship with their parents, not liking Indian food, saying men and women are different but complement.
How long is this list?
JD Vance on Twitter, saying Hillary Duff is cool,
Hillary Duff is cool. She was the sweetheart of the early 2000s, man.
making fun of Reddit, and for Asmongold reacting to me, criticizing American imperialism, wearing a bow in my hair, liking VTubers, and now being anti-death.
Charlie Kirk was a fucking Nazi. he was a fucking Nazi. And you know what kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one.
Exactly. Thanks for making my case.
I am a better person than you.
No, you're not.
Celebrating the death of a Nazi. And actually, it's pretty weird that you're not, and simultaneously asking people to have empathy for the Nazi.
Nazis have children and families, right? But Nazis also...
You look like a character from the Oblivion character creation screen.
get shot in the neck.
They don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you.
Based.
Now,
That's
I'm going
Blair
to talk
White.
about
She's
my
right.
personal feelings of the situation because I know a lot of you can relate. I know a lot of you have been feeling the exact same way. So I will try and put it into words for you. I have friends who were friends with Charlie Kirk, but I didn't personally know him. We follow each other on Twitter. I've been to the TPUSA Amerifest in 2021. I actually went there planning to make a video making fun of it, but I had so much fun and met so many friends that I'm still friends with to this day. So that video never happened. I disagreed with him all the time. You can
Republicans should not support a bill that pays people not to work. Have you seen the current unemployment in this country, Charles?
literally go to our Twitter.
And yet, I agree. I'm just trying to go back. Republicans should not support a bill that pays people not to work. I agree. But on the other hand, I also agree with Shoe because the unemployment's crap, the economy's crap, and people need to be able to live. So, you know, I believe there's a middle ground here.
Literally go to our Twitter interact.
Former KKK leader David Duke endorsed Democrat Tulsi Gabbard for president. For years we've been told it matters that David Duke supported some Republicans. Of course, now that KKK leaders are going back to supporting Democrats, the media will totally ignore this. Cease.
I was always correcting him about, like, Bernie Sanders. I made an egg look like his face. It is safe to say I was no fan. But this has really shaken me in a way that I absolutely did not expect. These last few days after what happened, I kept going to every single, like, lefty, liberal, left-wing person I know and, like, checking out what they have been saying about this. And besides maybe, like, 4 or 5, every single one was being an unhinged psychopath about this, or saying some backhanded shit like, this is why we need gun control, which, first of all, we were just watching a whole bunch of people celebrate killing someone over political differences. You are never taking our guns now. That is not happening. I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean. I was trying to, like, grasp onto a flotation device, checking all of these accounts for their take, like, be normal, be normal. Nothing. Nobody. I'm just drowning in a sea of evil, apparently. Maybe I was just blind up until now. Maybe they changed. Maybe I changed. Is everyone going crazy or am I going crazy? I don't know. All I know is it is clear how they reacted to this is how they would react to me, my family, my friends, you, your family, your friends.
Anyone, really.
That have ever stepped out of line from the nebulous, ever-changing definition of progressive. These are people I thought were level-headed. They were...
I often find the term progressive in practice and policy is regressive. They do it does a lot more harm than good, but that's because they are focused on being politically correct, and as Stephen Fry said, political correctness is always more concerned with how right it is, without being concerned about how effective it is.
Left wing, but you know, like, they were one of the good ones. Like, you can joke with them, you know, they weren't those, like, woke SJWs. Like, they were cool, we can disagree and still be friends.
I don't know people like that on the right, so yeah.
No. Your friend wouldn't celebrate you being murdered, of course. But if they would celebrate an exact clone of you that wasn't you, that had all the same opinions, or some of the opinions.
I want to give her a hug. I feel like she needs a hug.
That you have, if they would celebrate that clone being murdered, they're not your friend. I'm friends with people who are friends with Charlie, and I see how they are completely broken about this. Seeing them like this, and then at the same time my other friends posting shit like, "Rip bozo." It's just sick. It's just sick shit. Personally, I would rather live in a world full of Charlie Kirks who would sit down and debate than a world full of people who agree with me but would murder people who don't. Because
Do you know what? There's a form of government that follows that way, that follows the latter line of thinking that she just mentioned here. It's called communism. And Jordan Peterson said, even if you did manage to do communism correctly, there's somebody waiting in the wings who would shoot you in the back the minute you step out of line. And that's exactly what these people would do. So you can agree with them. Well, in the first place, to quote Christopher Hitchens, those who are determined to be offended will find a provocation somewhere. We can never adjust enough to please the fanatics, and it's degrading to make the attempt. But even if you did somehow manage to please the fanatics and earn their favor and whatnot, the very second you step a toe out of line, they will go after you. It happened to me. I was playing Destiny 2 with a friend. They happened to be a trans woman, and I was in their Discord, and I felt like I had to walk on eggshells all the time. And then the minute I actually asked questions because I genuinely didn't understand and wanted to learn what I was reading and looking at, I was immediately dogpiled on in the Discord, being called every sort of ad hominem you normally hear about people who are typically against transgenderism and whatnot. And eventually I earned a swift ban from the Discord. So it's like, there I was, my whole involvement was just playing Destiny 2 with these people. And then they said something, I asked a question, and boom, you're out. It's not nearly as severe as getting shot for what I did, but, you know, it kind of just on some degree felt that way.
if it's now normalized to just murder people who disagree with you politically, we don't have a society. Like, that's it. It's over. But some of these people in particular, like, why the fuck are you celebrating? You. They think you're a fucking Nazi too. They'll make a nice compilation of all the hot takes you've had over the years and spread it around to justify your murder. You don't get it, do you? We are all Charlie Kirk. I've
Yes.
been doing this for 11 years. I have been harassed, doxxed, threatened, whatever, you name it, for 11 years by the left. And it hasn't moved me an inch because that's not how politics works. That's lunch table politics. I've talked about this before. People on your side being mean to you doesn't mean you overnight change your opinions on, like, healthcare. It doesn't work that way.
No.
I still have all my economic left opinions. I'm for strong social safety nets, workers' rights, unions, wealth caps, whatever. That has not changed. This is not me leaving the left because, frankly, I don't even know how to do that. This is me and many, many people looking around us at our so-called allies and realizing that even though we might share some, like, political opinions, we fundamentally do not have the same values or morals. And are we really allies if we agree on, like, taxes, but don't agree on the sanctity of human life? I don't know. The way we view death now...
I think you can be, but it's the way I see it, it's kind of like being, you've got your best friend who knows pretty much everything about you. You've known them since you're in your 30s. You've known them since like the 3rd grade, and they've stuck with you through thick and thin. They know everything about you. And then, perfect example, Dominic Toretto, Vince, and Brian O'Connor from the Fast and Furious. Now, you may laugh. I give you permission to laugh. But think about it. You got Dominic Toretto and Vince. They've known each other since they were kids, like in the 3rd grade. In comes Brian, and he quickly takes over. So, like, but in any normal, not fictional world, Brian would have to do a hell of a lot to earn his way to that level, right? So you can be allies with people you agree on one thing with and disagree with on the other. Whereas you probably, with your particular Vince, you probably know what you agree and disagree on, and you can just like let it go. But the new guy coming in, he's got a lot to do. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah.
Now is just crazy. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the desensitization, in part thanks to the internet. You used to have to go out of your way to see gore and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You're just scrolling through Twitter and you see someone set on fire, someone gets stabbed on a train. And when someone like Charlie dies, it's not even real to people anymore. Like, it's like a movie or show. Oh, that character died? Good, I hated that character. Like, no, that was a real human being
Yeah.
with a family and kids, actually. Like, that was someone's son. The internet has turned real people into nothing but cartoon characters that disappear when you close an app. I remember for years people would be like, oh, when you have kids, you'll change your mind on XYZ, and I was like, no, that's not gonna happen, no. And they were right. Almost overnight, you stop being so selfish, nihilistic. You stop having utopian fantasies of wanting to live in a post-capitalist society. And all you want is for the world to be safe.
I'm going to say about a post-capitalist society, I don't think capitalism is a problem. I think, and you can look up these terms, as far as according to my understanding, they are different things. And the one I'm going to use isn't exactly, my use of it isn't exactly right, but I think it more accurately reflects how it actually works. So I think the big problem in society today is not capitalism. I think it's financialism, and financialism is, as I understand it, basically wealth created through investment and stuff. So, and why I think the problem is financialism is because everything's now down to the bottom line. Everything's got to be done to please the stakeholders and investors and make the people who inject money into the thing. It's got to make them happy and it's got to make them rich, which is why companies feel no qualms at all about grinding their employees to dust, paying minimum wage or less. I mean, I've worked for something around 20 years since I was 17 in customer service and retail positions. I have never once even earned minimum wage. I've always earned less, and it gets justified by, oh, the bargaining council, and but I'm working like 60 plus hours a week. Like, what the hell? Why? Because I'm cheap labor that can keep things running to make the stakeholders and the shareholders and the investors happy. So I think the problem is financialism, not capitalism.
For the world to be safe and normal. And all that matters is your family and your community, and then your country, and then the world.
Yep. So we'll backtrack a bit because I went on a bit of a tangent.
Right. Almost overnight, you stop being so selfish, nihilistic. You stop having utopian fantasies of wanting to live in a post-capitalist society. And all you want is for the world to be safe. For the world to be safe and normal. And all that matters is your family and your community, and then your country, and then the world.
This sounds very similar to Jordan Peterson's clean your room bit. And if you're not familiar with that, it's basically Jordan Peterson says, clean your room. And when you can keep your room clean, clean your house. And when you can keep your house clean, clean your yard. And when you can keep your yard clean, now you start working in your neighborhood. And you just grow it out that way.
But we can't save the world, you can't. But you can save the people around you. You can't say to these people who are celebrating this and justifying this, you can't say, what if that was your dad or your brother getting killed for
Yeah, because they have no empathy.
Their opinions, because they've already cut those people off. They've already cut those people off out of their lives. And posting videos and pictures of Charlie's wife and young kids will not move these people at all. Because they hate their lives. They hate their families. They are atomized bug people. They are the unfortunate product of modern society. And I feel bad for them. I do. I pity them and I wish I could help them. But I have bugman fatigue. And for the people who will come at me in a blind rage with a list of all of Charlie Kirk's, biggest hits to convince me that I should hate him and should not mourn him. If you thought what Charlie Kirk said is wrong, you could have debated him. He was one of the
Yeah.
few people left willing to do that, and now he's gone. Charlie was a fan of free speech, but I'm worried whoever comes after Charlie won't be.
Well, Milo's making a resurgence.
Like, even from a political standpoint, not even a personal human standpoint, why are you celebrating, like, the most popular college Gen Z political pundit dying? Like, why are you celebrating him becoming a martyr? Say goodbye to that young male vote. All the liberal Joe Rogans in the world are not fixing this.
No.
I just hope for the sake of this country that political violence does not become normalized, does not become a thing. I really don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see retaliation. I don't want to see us fall into a civil war. I don't know. This has all been extremely blackpilling. I think I'm going to take a break from politics. I don't know. I'm a YouTuber. Like, I'm not a political pundit, right? I'm not. My goal here, my purpose here is to entertain, is to make people laugh. That is what I'm going to do.
And if you can get them thinking about certain things and topics, that's also a good one.
That is what I will continue to do. The news cycle will move on. The world will move on. Charlie Kirk's kids won't move on.
No, but they'll at least be able to find clips of their dad when he was at his best, and they'll know exactly what kind of man he was and what he stood for.
His daughter won't move on. His daughter does not have a dad anymore. And that fucking sucks. That sucks. I don't know what else to say. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my crash out. If you're new here, my videos usually are not like this. They're actually nothing like this. They have music in the back. They're fun. They're goofy. Things are just not fun and goofy right now. But I promise you the next video will be. Yeah, thank you for your attention to this matter. Bye.
Like I said, I want to give her a hug. I think she needs a hug. But yeah, that was that, and well, it's like I said earlier in the video and in previous videos, and I've said quite a few times already, you don't have to have liked Charlie Kirk, you don't have to have agreed with him. In fact, I think you would have liked if you disagreed with him, because that creates a space for a conversation and a debate, which is what he was all about. You don't even have to care that he died or mourn his passing, especially if you didn't like or disagreed with him. Just don't celebrate his death. Don't mock it. And then you get people who are losing their jobs over it, and then they're saying it's an attack on free speech. It's like, no, the attack isn't on free speech. It's not an attack on your free speech, because the government's not coming after you. You're just being held accountable by your peers. And well, I'm all for seeing a hell of a lot more of people being held accountable. Like, back in growing up, I always learned that there were things that were socially acceptable and things that weren't. So, like, you couldn't point to a black guy and say, "He stinks, mommy." That wasn't socially acceptable. It was rude, it was obnoxious, very racist. Even if it was true, even if, I mean, he could have been a construction worker and he's walking past you after a long day. You don't know. Some of the happiest people in the world go home smelling to high heaven. But it's not okay to point around and to point at the guy and say things, you know. And your parents would quickly correct that. Unfortunately, parents these days absolutely suck, and so it's up to society to correct poor behavior. And I'm all for it. And if that means a hell of a lot more people have to lose their jobs over celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, then I'm for it. But that's going to do it for this video. Link to the original video will be down below. Be sure to check it out if you want to. Go support Shoe0nHead. She's having a rough time of it, but she's worth supporting. I am actually not subscribed. I will subscribe now. I stopped subscribing to her back in the day when politics was draining me. But yeah. Go show her some love. She's actually a hell of a lot more grounded than people will say. Don't listen to... If you hear opinions against her, go watch her stuff and make up your own mind first. But that's it. That's going to do it for this video. Take care, everybody, and be kind to each other. Cheers.